Hey guys, how are you today? We're going to be talking about how to price your bookkeeping services. So just give me 1 second. Let's put this on IG. Okay. Hey guys. Hey. That light is kind of bright. How are you guys? Hey Asia, or is it Isaiah? Hey guys on IG. If you guys that are on IG want to actually see the presentation that I have, go ahead and hop on over to IG so you can actually see my presentation I'm going to be sharing with you guys. So let's do this. Okay. All right, guys. So how is everybody's day today? How is the week starting off? All right, so what I'm gonna do is share my screen in just a second, but welcome if you are new to me. My name is Krista. I teach tax and accounting professionals how to get more clients utilizing social media and build multiple six-figure firms. So I specialize in helping you get clients using Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Google, right? And then when you get these people on the phone, how to actually walk through a proven script to onboard them as a client. So welcome if you're new to me. Tell me where you guys viewing from, what city or what country are you guys viewing from? And also let me know, how long have you been providing bookkeeping services? If you've already been doing bookkeeping, how many bookkeeping clients do you guys have right now? And how long have you actually been providing bookkeeping services? So let's see if we can move IG a little back right here. I think that might be a little bit better. Oh, that light is bright on IG. Sorry, IG. You guys got the bright light. Okay. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to share my screen. And we're going to walk through this presentation together. All right. So let's talk about pricing bookkeeping services, right? So a few of you said that you guys have bookkeeping clients and you've been in business for a few years. So awesome, welcome. So we're going to talk about the old way to price, right? There's a lot of bookkeepers and people doing bookkeeping that are still pricing the old model, right? And then we're also going to talk about the new way to price. What is the way that you're supposed to price to ensure that you have maximum profits? So the old way in pricing your bookkeeping services was really to charge by the hour, right? So who here right now is kind of like charging by the hour for bookkeeping, right? So when you charge by the hour, the cons to that is you have to exchange your time dollar for dollar, right? So I know there are a lot of other people teaching bookkeeping services and how to price on bookkeeping. And a common way that I see them teaching is charging $35 an hour, $45 an hour, $50 an hour in order to service your bookkeeping clients. When you price by the hour, you have to exchange your time for money, right? And then as you get better at bookkeeping, you actually make less money. So I gave you a scenario right here. So let's just say you work 40 hours at $50 an hour. You only can make $2,000, right? That's it. So if all of your clients collectively takes you about 40 hours for the month, you are only making $2,000. Okay. So what took you 12 hours to do, now you can do, let's say, in 3 hours because you actually gotten better, right? You're actually leveraging software, automations, right? Plus you just know how to do bookkeeping a lot better. You know, all the tricks and hacks and QuickBooks and stuff like that. So let's just say you actually reduce your time to only 3 hours, what originally took you 12 hours. But now as you get better and as you figure out little hacks and tricks in order to do your bookkeeping jobs faster, you're still only charging by the hour. So now, because you've gotten better, your income is actually going down. And that's just not fair, right? As you guys get better with your craft, if you, as you learn how to leverage technology and software even better, you shouldn't have to cut, or your pricing shouldn't go down just because you've gotten better as a professional, right? So when you are charging hourly, let's just say you get 10 clients, right? And they're paying you $50 an hour. Now, just hearing $50 an hour might sound enticing. You're like, yes, I'm getting paid $50 an hour. I would say some nurses and some top tier professionals, they get paid $50 an hour. So it's like, it's exciting to hear that. But let's just say each client takes you about 5 hours per month. That means you only are earning $2,500 per month, right? Only. And I'm going to give you some scenarios so you can see like this is a big problem. So you will need 40 bookkeeping clients just to make $10,000 in a month. And it's actually going to take you 200 hours per month to get through those bookkeeping clients if it takes about 5 hours per client to service. Right. So that's 50 hours per week. You're literally working a full-time job and you're only getting paid 25 you're only getting paid, let's just say $10,000 per month. And that's not even including like your taxes, expenses, business expenses and things like that. Now, while this might look good for some people are like, Krista, I will work 50 hours per week and get paid $10,000 per month. That's fine and dandy, but let me show you the new way in pricing, and let me show you how much more money you are actually leaving on the table by pricing hourly and by not pricing with a fixed value price. Okay. So with hourly, you have a job, right? And the bad part about having a job that you own, right, AKA being an entrepreneur, is that when you don't work, you don't make money. Right. So you working this 50 hours per week, you're working 200 hours per month. God forbid you get sick or, say you want to take a vacation. As you start to crave more freedom in your life, your income is directly tied to the time that you put into your business. So there's no time freedom when you guys are charging hourly. There's no freedom to take a couple week vacation or you reduce your hours. Let's just say you didn't want to work 50 hours per week. Well, you don't have any wiggle room because it literally takes you 50 hours per week to service those clients. So you literally are trading one job for another job. And this is what I don't want you guys to do. I actually want you to step into true CEO-ship. And the only way that you guys are going to be able to step in true CEO-ship is when you have a solid value-based price, right? When you're charging on value. Okay. So let's just say you were like, okay, Krista, well, I can outsource, right? Yes, I definitely would implore you to outsource. I do not want you guys to doing all of the work yourself. So let's just look at that scenario. So say you pay someone $15 as an assistant bookkeeper on those same 40 clients. That means you're going to be paying this bookkeeper $3,000. So you're going to make $10,000. You're going to pay your assistant bookkeeper $3,000. Let's just say your business expenses are going to be around $2,500 per month. That's with all your softwares, your automation. Let's just say a part of that is, your taxes. So before your personal taxes, you're going to bring home around $4,500 per month. That's $54,000 per year. This is not bad, right? It's not that bad, okay? It's not terrible to bring home $54,000 per year and you outsource all of this work to an assistant bookkeeper, okay? But let me just show you even further how we're still leaving way much more money on the table, right? Because you still have to manage this book of business. You still have to manage 40 clients. So you're still working every single day in your business, communicating back and forth with the client, making sure that the assistant bookkeeper provides quality work. So you're still reviewing the documents. Again, you still have a job at this point in time. You haven't really stepped into true CEO-ship. Okay. So as you get better, let's just say you guys really have your systems tied, you're leveraging software, automations, and the same amount of work that used to take you 200 hours to do, let's just say you're able to cut that in half to 100 hours per month. Now, because your hourly rate is tied to your client and how much they pay you, your income actually goes down as you get better, right? Which is not fair to you guys. It's not fair. So now you're only working 100 hours per month at $50 an hour. Now your income literally is slashed in half just because you got better as a professional, right? You knew how to leverage software and automation. And let's just say you still wanted to outsource. So you're still paying that person $15 an hour. Now they're only working 100 hours per month. your business expenses actually stay the same, right? Because you still have those 40 clients. So you still need the infrastructure in place to service those clients. So that means as you get better with time, as you learn how to leverage software and automation with time, that you're actually bringing home less money, right? So now you're only taking home $1,000, whereas before, when your time was actually doubled, you was taking home 45. Okay, so this is just a really basic scenario just to kind of really showcase to you guys that pricing hourly is not really profitable. And as you get better with time, as you start leveraging software and automation, you actually start making less and less money. Okay, now let's look at the new way. This is the new way on how I want you guys to actually price your bookkeeping services. So I want you to price on value. Okay. And generally, you price per hour when you don't know how to clearly communicate the value it is to your client. So what that means, what does that mean? That means people that charge by the hour, it's only because they normally don't know how to communicate the value to the client. They don't really know how to articulate the benefits that this client is going to receive. And they still are viewing themselves as this transactional thing, right? This transactional entity. Now, instead of viewing yourself as a transactional entity, I want you guys to view yourselves as a value add to your clients, okay? Because right now, if you guys go online right now, there are companies that are offering $49 per month bookkeeping. Okay, there are companies offering, $100 per month bookkeeping. You guys would need hundreds of clients to make the type of money that you want. You will be working yourself to the wee mornings, barely can be able to take a vacation. Like when I see bookkeepers brag that they have 100 clients, that is not the goal. I'm going to respectfully say that is not the goal. If you have 100 clients paying you $200, you're making $20,000 per month, but that overhead and that headache is crazy, right? Just the sheer amount of people that you will have to manage and clients that you will have to manage, request lists, request items, client paperwork. Honestly, your net profit margins are so low, okay? So when we switch the model and we actually charge on value, we actually can charge a lot more. So boom, let's take the same example. Let's just say we have a fixed price and now we're going to charge our value-based price. And let's just say our value-based price is a nominal fee of $500 per month, right? That's our base price that we're going to start at. Well, those same 40 clients will actually be paying you $20,000 per month. 40 clients at a bare minimum of $500, you will make $20,000 per month. The same amount of time that it's taking you to service those clients, right? But you're actually getting paid way more, right? Because now we communicated the value to the client. They aren't just looking at us as a transactional bean counter, right? Just somebody doing the after the fact. And we actually can charge a more value-based rate, right? And it's a fixed rate. So as we get better, we're not making less money, right? Our profit margins actually are increasing the better we get with our systems, our automation, and our software, and our people and processes, right? So let's just say we outsource that work to a bookkeeper. You're still paying that assistant bookkeeper $15 per hour. So they're going to make $1,500 per month. Your business expenses are still $2,500 per month. But guess what? Now you have profit margins. You have some really healthy profit margins of $16,000 per month. And that's on a base price of $500 per month. And so I typically would tell you guys, you want to have a base price. We cannot compete with $49 per month bookkeeping. And I don't want you to. Those just aren't your clients. If they want you to charge them $100 for bookkeeping, they aren't your clients, right? The other thing is you guys have to start and learn how to communicate value to clients. How can you actually really showcase and show that this is a benefit to them and how it's actually going to help them in the long run? Okay, so profit margin $16,000 on those same clients because now we transition to a value-based price. So let's look at the same client load with fixed rates. And we just did that. So here's my next slide. Pricing cleanups. So this is a major thing that my clients go through each and every day, right? The problem with cleanups, especially during the end of the year, is that most businesses, they want you to come in at the end of the year, do a year's worth of bookkeeping at the last minute. Who can attest to that? Who has had tax clients come to you in like January or February or March or April with no bookkeeping done, and they expect you to do a year's worth of bookkeeping for like free so they can get their tax return done, right? Like type a 1 in the chat if you know what I'm talking about, right? Yes, yes. Listen, it's crazy. These business owners are crazy. They want you to do all of this 1 year's bookkeeping for free. No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do it for free. So here's what I want you to do. And here's how I want you guys to look at pricing bookkeeping services. Okay. You still do the same amount of work, right? When someone comes in, when a business owner comes in at the end of the year and they say, hey, do my bookkeeping for me so I can get my taxes done, you literally still have to do the same amount of work. Okay. So bookkeeping is always charged separate, guys. We do not include bookkeeping with our tax preparation fee. There are 2 separate fees. Now, what you can do is bundle them together for a fee, right? But these are 2 separate fees that your client is supposed to pay for. Okay. So here's what you need to know. And here's how we price a cleanup. We say, okay, Mr. and Mrs. Business Owner, if you become a monthly client, I'll give you a deal. Okay. So you're going to say, normally, Mr. and Mrs. Business Owner, my bookkeeping fee is $500 per month. That's $6,000 for the year. What I can do for you if you become a monthly bookkeeping client is we can give you a discount of 50 to 75%. Okay, we'll get you cleaned up for the entire year. You will have profit and loss, balance sheet, cash flow, everything properly categorized and accounted for so that you can make sure that you are preparing and that we can prepare a proper tax return for you. So with this scenario, you can offer this client to do their cleanup for $1,500 minimum or upwards to $3,000. And remember, this is only if, okay, they become a monthly client. So let's break that down again. They come to you, they're like, hey, Krista, I need to get my taxes done, you know, and let's just say it's March 2021. Your business owner is coming to you with their big box of receipts. They're like, I need you to do my taxes. And you're like, Mr. and Mrs. Business Owner, did you do bookkeeping last year? And they're like, no, I didn't do any bookkeeping last year. Okay. You're going to be like, okay, I understand. You say, listen, we need you to get on monthly bookkeeping. And so what we'll do, if you become a monthly bookkeeping client, we'll give you a steep discount for your cleanup for 2020. So here's what we normally do. Normally we charge $500 per month. That's $6,000 that our clients pay us every single year for bookkeeping services. Now we're willing to do this cleanup for you for 2020 at a rate of about 50 to 75% off. So we can get you cleaned up for tax year 2020 for only $1,500. That's with the expectation that you're going to come on as a monthly service client at $500 per month. Boom. That's how you communicate to these business owners that come in tax time with their big box of receipts, wanting you to do 1 year's worth of bookkeeping. It's not happening, right? You only incentivize them when you're incentivized. There's people giving discounts and there's no incentive for the professional, right? You can't incentivize a prospect and there's no upside for you. There has to be an upside for you. So what I typically see business owners, when I mean business owners, I mean tax and accounting professionals, they will do the bookkeeping for free, which is terrible, or they'll do the bookkeeping for like $200 or $300 or $400, right? A whole year's worth of cleanup and data entry for a few $100s. Even if you were charging hourly rate, you would probably charge more than that, right? So we need to get into the mind frame of how can we start positioning our value? How can we actually start communicating to these business owners to differentiate ourselves? Like I said, we are not competing against these bookkeeping firms or the other bookkeepers that are only charging $49 per month, $50, $100, $150 per month, right? People that only charge that amount, it's not their fault because they just don't know how to communicate the value to the end client, right? It's really not the industry's fault on why people are charging hourly or why they're only charging these low fees. It's only because no one has actually taught them how to clearly communicate value, right? You are value, your services are value. And once you start realizing how to communicate that, honestly, your prices is going to increase exponentially. Right? So let's go back to my little PowerPoint. Questions. What questions do you have about this? What questions do you guys have about pricing, bookkeeping, about pricing your cleanups? And I want you guys to implement this. It's end of year. Your business owners are going to try to test you. Okay, like they're going to come online or in person. It really doesn't matter, right? They're still going to come to you and say, "Hey, I haven't done any bookkeeping this year, and I need it done." And they're going to expect you to do it for the free 99. And I want you guys to feel empowered, right? To say, no, this is not how we're going to do it. Bookkeeping is a separate value-added service that you pay for, right? And here's what we can do for you, because you are coming at the last minute, and you know, we understand how difficult it's been, especially during this season of COVID. We'll work with you. We have no problems giving you a really great discount, with the expectation that we are now starting a monthly service relationship, at least for the next 6 months, right? All right, so let me go and see what questions do you guys have on here, okay? Yes, Siobhan says 2 separate services, right? And so the thing about bookkeeping too, and what I'll quickly talk about, is that a lot of people don't know that within bookkeeping, there are separate offerings that you can charge separately for, okay? So bookkeeping encompasses a lot, but you also have accounts receivable, accounts payable. You also have, you know, even on the accounting side, maybe job costing, right? All of these separate services within the accounting function should be charged separately. So if someone comes to you for bookkeeping, do not automatically assume that you are to be doing that person's AR and their AP. Those are 2 separate accounting functions that you need to be charging for. Okay. And so this is how you guys want to break out your services. For a long time, I was just bundling everything together, especially during tax season, right? People would come to me, business owners would come to me exactly how I just described, with their big ass boxes of receipts, right? Or their trash bags of receipts. And they'll be like, "I need to file my taxes and here's all my documents," right? And it's like, "No, ma'am. No, sir." You know, the Krista today, I wish I knew what I knew then, right? I would have been looking at them people like they were crazy, like, no. But me not being educated on how to charge and how to properly price and how to position value, I would take those big ass boxes, dump them on my desk, and I will literally be in there with my calculator, like a freaking bean counter to the wee mornings doing bookkeeping, right? And so none of that anymore, guys. Your time is valuable, right? Your expertise is needed. Now is just time to up-level your skills. It's time to up-level how you communicate, how you position your value, how you position yourself, right? When you can learn these strategies. And again, it's not you guys' fault. It wasn't my fault. I didn't know better, right? And so the industry and most of you just don't know better right now. And so this is where and why we're doing what we're doing today. We want to educate you that you have to break out these services. You can't let these business owners take advantage of you, especially during tax season, because they will, okay? They will. All right, so let me see what you guys are saying. Chad says, "OMG, yes," or they say, "Oh, my books are done. QBO nightmares." That's the other thing too, Chad. So Chad brought up a really great point. So yes, business owners will come in, and actually Siobhan, she has a really great a messaging for this, because Siobhan, one of the prospects told her, they were like, "Oh, our bookkeeping is already done," and she's like, "We still charge an onboarding fee of this amount because we need to actually review your files to make sure they were done correctly." Okay, so that's one of the strategies that I love how she did that. Siobhan is one of my clients and business partner. So that's one of the best strategies I've heard this year, was actually say, "Hey, yeah, you did your bookkeeping yourself, but it's probably on a struggle bus." So how can we respectfully tell that to our people, right? We can say, "Hey, I understand you did your bookkeeping yourself. However, we like to make sure that everything is properly accounted for and that their books are properly closed for each period. And for us to do that, it's an additional onboarding fee of this amount," right? Some people charge $500, $250, whatever your reviewing the books fee is, right? And include that in your onboarding fee, include that with your services. But yeah, a lot of those people, like Chad said, like they'll try to give you their QuickBooks and it's not right. And now you have to actually go back and, you know what I'm saying, and figure out what's wrong, make journal entries, you know, recorrect some stuff, right? So yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, Chad. Tamika says, what would you charge for setting up a new company? So yeah, that's really interesting, Tamika. So let's look at that really quick. So what would I charge for setting up a new company? So a few of my clients do this. So let me escape out of here. So let's do this. What would you charge for incorporation is what you mean, right? So let's look at that offer. What is that offer, right? You guys need to start learning how to break out your offers. And this is a part of, you know, me being your coach and my program. I hope you break out these offers. So an incorporation, that's a package, right? So what does that include? That includes them being incorporated with their state. That also includes their employer identification number, right? Now, depending on who you are and what else you want to include, you might just include that. But I know a few of my clients, they start to stack their offers. They start to add in some value added pieces up underneath these two, right? So what you want to look at is what all does my client need to have in order to be properly set up and to really have the best possible structure going forward, okay? Now, I'm gonna tell you, when I personally worked with a top tier accounting firm and they were incorporating me, they spent a lot of time asking me tax planning questions, right? And I think this is a missing piece that a lot of business professionals, such as tax and accounting professionals, that they miss, okay? So there's a lot of people just doing incorporations. They're just setting up an LLC, but you have to really start asking very specific tax planning questions because that might not be the best entity structure for them. And this is now what I'm teaching my clients, because when that top tier accounting firm, when they spoke with me about setting up my corporation, they asked a lot about the future. They asked a lot about my future plans for my business, future revenue goals for my business, because all of that really dictates how you should be set up today, right? Your future plans really dictate how you should be set up today. So you want to actually include that with your offer. If you're actually putting in, you know, some pre-tax planning strategies, that's an extra line item. That's an extra line item in your service offering. So while people are charging, let's just say, actually type in the chat for me, Tamika, and tell me how much do normal people in the tax and accounting industry charge to incorporate? Just give me an idea of what you've been hearing out in the internet streets on how much people are charging for incorporation. Okay, because I'm gonna tell you what the difference is in just a second. And anybody can type in the chat this. How much are tax and accounting professionals right now charging for incorporation? Go ahead and type that in the chat for me. The chat is slow today, or you guys are just ignoring me. Okay, so I'm just gonna give you the answer because I don't see the chat moving and my internet might be, okay. Steph, thank you, Steph. Steph says 350, okay? Steph says good. Steph says 350. Anybody else? Danny says 400. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, perfect. So you have people charging 350, 400. The majority of the people that I've heard, they've only charged like $200, right? $200, $300. There you go, Tamika. I see you now. 350 to 500, 300 from Lewis. Perfect. Now, what if you can charge an incorporation $1,000 or between 500 and 1,000? So let's look at this really quick, okay? So I'm going to go share my screen. And now let's look to see how can we get our fee up, right? If the industry is only charging $200 to $300, how can we systematically get this fee up and actually be of better service, right? So what we can do here, we can add in some pre-tax planning, okay? We add in some pre-tax planning and we actually educate them on their requirements, right? You might even want to educate them on estimated taxes, right? How many of you know that your business clients have no idea, no clue on what estimated taxes are and their requirements to file estimated taxes, right? So now we start actually bringing forth a value added service to these people, right? And now we're not looked at as just a transaction. A transaction is saying, hey, I want to pay you $200, go incorporate. We're bringing value added services. So we need to come to our services and say, hey, what all do you need with this in order to be successful? Okay. So that's like giving somebody, let's just say, if I'm taking you out to dinner and I'm giving you a piece of chicken, I'm gonna take everything else away. Like, no, I need not only my protein, I need my carbs, I need my vegetables, right? I need the full dinner in order to be satisfied. So you guys kind of have to do the same thing for your clients. They need more than just, filing with the state. They don't even know if that's the right entity. Or most people would try to come to you and say, I want to file a LLC, right? And then that's it. And then you just, because you're a transactional bookkeeper, tax and accounting professional, no one's actually taught you how to be a value add. You just go do the thing, right? Not only are you missing out on so much opportunity, but you're also doing a disservice to your client, because what if that wasn't the most appropriate thing that they need to be in? And then now that they're incorporated, they don't even know their incorporation requirements, right? What are their state requirements? What are their federal requirements, right? So you have to look at these services as an opportunity to educate and be a value add. We really have to start transitioning into more value added services, guys, right? Because listen, they can go to LegalZoom for a transaction, right, Tamika? They can go to LegalZoom and do it themselves. So what's going to differentiate you between LegalZoom is the value that you bring to the table, the questions that LegalZoom is not asking them, right? The scenarios that LegalZoom cannot possibly go over because it's just software, right? Now we are able to stack this offer, boom, incorporation with the state, but we're going to do some pre-tax planning, right? I'm going to show you your estimated tax requirements and how to calculate that, and your monthly or quarterly filing requirements, right? I'm going to get you your employer identification number. I'm going to walk you through the process of setting up your bank account. Now we can go from charging $200 to $300 to guess what? How much would you guys, I'm getting excited. How much would you guys now charge for this offer? Okay. So now we can easily charge $1,000, right? And if you want to be a little conservative, maybe $750. And if you want to be off, more conservative, $500. But at the end of the day, I'm still able to charge more than what the average is out there. So this means compounded over time, I'm making 10 times more money than the average person, because all they're doing is just filing with the state, right? I'm actually being a value add. And guess what? It's not gonna take you long to do this, right? You can literally do this in the same amount of time and literally double or triple or quadruple the amount of money that you pay, that you actually are charging, right? So let's just say you want to charge $750. This is a really great value added price, $750 for this whole offer, right? And so I'll tell you right now, I paid the big tier accounting firm around these price points for them to sit down with me. Actually, they didn't even get me incorporated. My lawyer did. They just sat down with me on a 1-hour Zoom call to explain my tax requirements, to kind of go over some pre-tax planning strategies with me. And then they let me know what the best entity to elect was, right? So that 1-hour conversation, I had to pay them $500. Boom, right? So, and they didn't even do the work. My lawyer did the work. And of course, he charged me what he charged me, right? But I happily paid $500. And guess what? I told one of my clients the other day, I said, I would have paid double that, right? The amount of information that they gave me in that 1 hour, I would have easily paid them $1,500 for that information, right? Because it was strategies and structures that I'm not privy to at this point, because I don't have corporation clients that make $50 million a year or $100 million a year. They understand tax strategies for a $100 million client. I don't understand those strategies right now. Yes, I can research it. I know about capital gains. But there's still very specific strategies that we are deficient in. You guys can't possibly know all of tax law. I don't care how smart you are, right? Politicians can't even keep up with the tax law. Okay, so we need to actually start positioning ourselves as the value add and actually quantifying that value, okay? So let me go back and see what's in the chat for you guys. Okay, so the majority of people saying 350, 300. Jeanette came in and smacked everybody up and said $1,200. I love that, Jeanette. That is awesome. But yeah, so Jeanette, you probably have a great offer. right? You probably have a really great offer where it's actually a no-brainer to pay $1,200 to work with you for incorporation, right? It's actually a no-brainer. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. All right. So what other questions do you guys have? So really quick, what I'll do is I'm just going to quickly show you some deficiencies. Okay. So one of the things that I teach in my program is really how to communicate that value. And we break this all the way down, right? So if you guys like my teaching style, this is kind of how I teach. And sorry, Instagram, you guys got to hop on over to YouTube. But this is how I teach. I teach on PowerPoint. I'm a very visual person, but I teach you guys how to communicate value. So guess what? Jeanette can charge $1,200 for incorporation, whereas somebody else is only charging $200 or $300 because she now knows how to clearly articulate the value to the prospect, to where they don't just see her as a transactional professional. She's not just somebody taking orders, right? And honestly, I really feel bad because I feel like a lot of people are in that position to where you let your customer come to you and you're, and you pretty much take out your notepad, right? And you just say, how can I help you? How can I help you, sir or ma'am? Right? And they're like, I want an LLC, I need monthly bookkeeping. And you're like, okay, what else do you need? Okay, what else? Okay, let me go do that. Right? And then you charge these very low fees because now you're just a order taker. You're just a transactional person. So what I teach you guys, what's game changer in every student that actually implement these strategies, they are able to double and triple and quadruple their prices, is learning how to communicate value and learning how to position you and your price to where the prospect sees it's a no-brainer, right? The people after you talk to them, they should see it's a no-brainer to pay you $500 a month or $1,000 a month or $2,500 per month. They should see it's a no freaking brainer by the way you position the value. Okay. And this is what I teach you in my program. I teach you how to collect money over the phone. A big problem that I see a lot of bookkeepers have is they're so used to sending over invoices because, we're bookkeepers. So we're used to sending over invoices. We're used to typing up and belaboring over proposals, right? And so I teach you how to cut all of that out. How can we take the money over the phone, right? We don't need to send a proposal. Right? We don't need to belabor over a proposal. And now we can just start enrolling clients consistently with ease. Okay. Not only learn how to price without scaring people away. This is an art. It is an art to price on value without people like jolting for the door. Right? It's an art to this. So I'll give you guys a perfect example. I was interviewing for lawyers a few months ago. I had spoken to several lawyers from all over the country because I really wanted to work with somebody that understands the business model that I have and that I'm embarking on. And one of the lawyers, she was priced so high. And after thinking about it, I paid the other guy almost the same price, but guess what the difference was? The lady that I really wanted to work with her, right? I wanted to support her because she was a woman, right? But the way that she just went about communicating to me, I didn't see any value in working with her. I was thinking about all of the other lawyers that charge less than that can do the exact same thing. And this is the problem with service professionals, is that the consumer, when they're listening to you state your price, whatever it is, $500, $5,000, it doesn't matter. When they're listening to you state your price, in their mind, they're thinking about all the other people that can do it for less, right? Can I get an amen on that? Like, they're thinking about everybody else, that they're thinking about their sister, cousin, brother-in-law, their sister, cousin, whoever, right? How they can do it for half that, right? So here's what you need to learn. And this is what I teach you guys, is how can we communicate and actually show the value, where if I state that $5,000, I'm like throwing money, right? I practically threw money at a different lawyer who had around the same price point. I threw money at him just because he communicated the value to me, right? He communicated what our relationship was going to look like. He communicated, long-term value, what he was going to be able to bring to the table. And he justified his $5,000. And that's what tax and accounting professionals need to do. This is both on all service offerings, right? Whether you're talking about tax preparation, bookkeeping, CFO, tax planning, tax resolution, it really doesn't matter. If you can't clearly position you and your services on value to the end consumer, they're automatically thinking, oh, I'm gonna go and get this somewhere cheaper, right? Am I right, guys? They're automatically thinking like, oh, I can do this on TurboTax, or, oh, I can go on bench.com, right? Like they're already canceling you out if you aren't clearly articulating how you provide value, okay? So this is what I teach you guys. And so if you are ready to start learning how to communicate, start charging higher prices, really learning how to state your price in a no-brainer way where you feel good about saying it's $1,000 a month, right? You feel good saying it's $2,000 a month to work with you, right? And you feel great knowing that the end prospect actually sees and understands the value. So if you want to learn this, I'm going to give you guys an exclusive invitation to actually join Tax and Accounting Clients on Demand. This is my signature program, and I work with you for a year getting tax and bookkeeping clients, right? CFO clients, tax resolution clients, tax planning clients, right? And I break down how do you talk to people in a way where they're like, Krista, I want to pay you money, right? Where they're like, hey, I don't really care what the price was going to be. I just want to, I wanted to work with you, right? You want people to feel that way when you are presenting your service offerings to them, right? So here's the entire program. You can go to bit.ly/mentor with Krista. This is the link that you guys can go to check it out. But I'm telling you guys, it is game changer when you know how to position who you are, what you do, and the prospect is like, absolutely, right? Abso-freaking-lutely. So this is the link that you guys can go to check out my program and how to work with me. All right, type in the chat, guys. What are some more questions? Like, this is good. Like, Tamika had a really great question on incorporations, but go ahead and type in the chat. Like, what other questions do you guys have about, pricing? Like, pricing is such a huge thing for a lot of professionals, right? Because they just price too low. They absolutely just price too low. So let me see what you guys are saying. Carla is from New York. Hey, Carla. Let me see what you guys are saying on IG. Do you guys have any questions? Let's see. Okay, so iRock says, which country is the best to outsource bookkeeping? Okay, awesome. So which country is the best to outsource bookkeeping? So I would say there's not like a particular country. I would just say you want to leverage, we typically leverage foreign professionals, right? People that are educated. So typically what I see is a lot of people might be from the Philippines. I also see a lot of people from India and from Pakistan. So those are kind of like the top three, is the Philippines, India, and Pakistan. And we really just use like, job boards and things like that to find and discover those types of professionals, right? Because now you go from, maybe paying someone $15, $20 an hour to actually only paying, maybe $7 to $10 an hour for them to do the same type of work, right? Especially when it's data entry, like bookkeeping, or maybe data entry on the tax side. Yeah. So let's see, what else are you guys saying? Oh, hey, Heather. Oh, Heather, you're going to have to watch this whole training over, because this is exactly what the training was about, like charging hourly versus flat rate. How do you reply to clients about higher prices when they are just starting biz? Okay, that's a really great question. So how do you respond to clients who are just starting their business? So I typically tell my clients to have a very specific offer for new business owners, right? So if a new business owner, they haven't really made that much revenue, they're probably not going to pay you $500 per month, right? Let's be clear. They're probably not going to pay you $500 per month. So what you want to do is just have an offer for them, right? They still need services. They still need to do their bookkeeping. So what you can do is either offer to do a setup for them for a fee, right? You can set their bookkeeping up for a fee. You can teach them bookkeeping for a fee, right? Or if you have a bookkeeping course, they can buy your bookkeeping course, right? So you have 3 different ways for the person that tells you, no, Krista, $500 is too much. I'm just starting off. I can't do that. They still need bookkeeping, guys, right? They still have things that they need to solve and that they need to track. So why not show them? Why not set it up? Or why not create something that they can watch and learn on their own? The key here is you just want to be of service, right? You want to be of value. And you actually want to start having offers for people that just can't afford you. Not everybody is going to be, a monthly client that can afford your services, but guess what? They still need services, right? So how can you help them solve the problem that they have with another type of service, right? A one-off service, right? So type in the chat some one-off services that you guys offer in your business. Like, what are some one-off services and how much do you charge? So let's just say if you do a bookkeeping cleanup, how much, not a bookkeeping cleanup, if you do a bookkeeping setup, how much do you charge to set someone's books up on QuickBooks or Xero or FreshBooks? Type in the chat right now and let me know. How much do you charge to set someone's books up? Okay, so Dan says 275. Okay, cool. 275. What else are you saying? Missy says 500. Okay, perfect, guys. I like that. In Love says 500. Okay. Yeah, so I would say an average price is probably around 500. So for you, Dan, you might want to get that up from 275 to at least 500. Definitely get that setup up to at least $500. Yeah. Lewis says 250. Okay. Yeah, so if you guys are about 250 to 275, you definitely have some room for improvement, right? So I would say go ahead and get those prices up to at least $500 for a bookkeeping setup for sure, right? And then learn how to not just be an order taker, right? So if you're doing a bookkeeping setup, like what, they're going to get in those books and jack it up. So you have to like include in that bookkeeping setup, maybe 30 minutes of training, right? Now the price is going up, right? You don't want to leave people on a struggle bus, guys. You don't want to leave on a struggle bus. You don't want to, give them the one thing and not give them everything else that they need to make it successful for them, right? Because when you do, you honestly just set them up for failure, right? They don't know how to navigate QuickBooks or Xero or FreshBooks, whatever they're using. They don't know how to properly account for their transactions. So now we can turn our bookkeeping setup and package it up and actually create a very valuable offer. And now I can go from $500 to $1,000, right? Because now I'm actually giving value, right? You guys see that? You see how I did that? How I packaged that up? So this is what I teach you. All right, guys. So listen, if you want to get more bookkeeping clients, if you want to learn how to communicate value, this is what I specialize in. I teach you word for word, like how do you communicate? How do you position your price? How do you close a client over the phone? How do you collect money over the phone, right? We teach you all of this in my program from start to finish, from the marketing to actually the workflow process behind running your virtual business. So if you've been following for some time, it's 2020, guys, going into 2021. I'm telling you, if you have not, seriously considered pulling the trigger on this program, you need to now, right? Because now more than ever, my clients are crushing it, right? People that have only been working with me for a few months are making $10,000 a month, right? They're bringing in $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, $10,000, literally 60 to 90 days of my teachings, right? Of just learning all of these strategies. The best part is they have more confidence, right? Like when they come to me, they're like, Krista, I can't charge that much. Or Krista, like I only charge $200 for a tax return. I'm only charging, $200 a month for bookkeeping, right? Like they really come to me like meek, right? And then after about 60, 90 days, their back is sitting up straight, right? Their chin is up and they're confident, right? They're closing clients left and right. And just to see the transformation is so exciting for me, right? To see people actually creating with their fingertips cash, right? It's so exciting. I had a coaching call today with my elite clients, and they were telling me about how they made thousands of dollars on Black Friday, right? I taught them how to package up a Black Friday offer, right? How do you package up Black Friday and Cyber Monday offers for tax and bookkeeping, right? And they did what I told them to do and they crushed it. They made thousands and thousands of dollars over the weekend. And so this is what mentorship does. It gives you ideas and strategies and step-by-step frameworks that you can actually follow to make the type of money that you need to make, right? A lot of people think that the fourth quarter is slow for tax and accounting professionals. No, honey. Listen, if you do the work in my program, you will get clients during the fourth quarter. You'll be getting cleanups, tax resolution, tax planning, CFO clients, right? Consulting services. When you know how to market yourself and you know how to position your value, you will close clients no matter the month, right? No matter the recession, the pandemic. Like my clients made a killing during COVID, right? Because they knew how to provide value. They knew how to offer and articulate the service that they were providing, right? So if you guys have been waiting and sitting on the sidelines and watching me for 2 years, right? Come on over. Come on over. It would be really the best decision that you're going to make this year. Okay. Don't close out this year without investing in yourself and investing in a strategy. Now, if you have any questions, go ahead and slide in my DM. Go to my Instagram page. It's just Krista Tyus over on Instagram, and slide in my DM, guys. Message me. Let me know how I can help you. Let me know what questions you have. And